Hello, my love. Welcome to Align. I am your host, your somatic embodiment guide and spiritual companion, Paul Galloro. I'm so happy you're here. Let's settle in. It is time for us to take a moment to be one. I am outside, out on my balcony tonight, so you might hear some cars. You might hear some dogs, you might hear some people, but let's settle in. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, whether you're out and about, walking around, or you're sitting at home, you're watching this on the YouTube, just settle yourself in. You can, if it's available to you, if it's safe for you to do so, you can close your eyes. Maybe place your hand on your chest, feel your heartbeat. And let's all take a deep breath in together. Exhale a sigh. Do that a couple times. Breathe in. Maybe make a sound here. One more full in breath. And just get a sense of your body, how you're feeling physically in this moment. If you are walking, notice how your feet are connecting to the ground. If you're sitting, notice how your body is supported by your chair or your couch or the ground that you're sitting on. Just feel what is connected to your body. Feel your clothes wrap around your body. If you are bare-skinned, feel the air on your skin. And then also get a sense not only of how you're feeling physically and all of your bodily sensations, but get a sense of how you're feeling emotionally today, this moment, right now. Know that all emotion is welcome here. There's no particular way that you need to be. You don't need to shift or change anything. You've heard me say this before, especially if you've been in my class. The word emotion is simply energy in motion. So know that as you breathe and as you move, if you are moving, that may change. And we witness that change. Just take one more deep inhale. Let it go. And here we are. I'm so thrilled that you're here. It is Gemini season, and the day this recording goes live, is launched, is a new moon in Gemini. And a new moon in Gemini is when the sun and the moon come into the same part of the sky. And today, Monday, what's today? Monday, May 26th, the moon will move into Gemini at 1:21 Eastern, but it won't line up exactly with the sun until about 11:02 p.m. So in the late night, some of us might even be sleeping. But the moon will be in Gemini for till about 1:30 on Wednesday. I'm just checking my notes here. So we've got almost a 48-hour period that the moon will be in Gemini. And although the moon is going to be precise at that time, I said 11:02 on Wednesday, those 2 days really are the time that we want to keep our thoughts focused on the direction that we want to move. And our thoughts are super important, especially now, especially during this time, because Gemini, ruled by Mercury, it's all about our thoughts. It's all about our communication. It's about the words that we speak. Gemini brings voice to things. So if we look at the zodiacal journey, I talked about this on the podcast last week. Aries is energy. Taurus is form. And now Gemini is sound. It's movement. It's starting to bring communication into the equation. Gemini is when we start to recognize, oh, there's another person here. There's others here. Gemini, two sides, right? Remember we talked about this last week? Gemini seems fickle only because they can see both sides. They can see all sides of a situation. And I talk about our thoughts and being very mindful of our thoughts and watching our thoughts, especially in this 24-hour period, because it's such a potent time. New moons are a time for setting intentions, right? So the sun is our conscious awareness. The moon is our unconscious mind. The two come into alignment. So this is the time where we can reprogram our thoughts, where we can program an intention into our being, where we can start to shift our way of being so that we can be more aligned with the truth of who we are, which is love. And Gemini being of thought, we need to remember that thought creates form on some level. So being mindful of our thoughts, setting intentions around how we think, what we think, it's a potent time for that. So I want to go back to this idea of thought creates form on some level. This came from my study of A Course in Miracles. And it is this idea that the thoughts we think and the words we speak create the experiences that we have. If you've been in my class before, or if you've heard me speak before, you've heard me say, the cells of our body are eavesdropping on every thought we think and every word we speak, and they're saying yes. So that is an example of how thought creates form on some level. So the thoughts that we think are creating our body, not just the words and the thoughts that we speak about ourselves and our body, but of everything. It's our body, our cells, our energy field is picking up on the vibration of the words that we use. That's why, sometimes I hear people like, oh, they're just words. You can give them whatever meaning you want. Yes, and Gemini, yes, and there's also a frequency and a vibration that goes with these words. An example that I use, and I shared this with someone yesterday, is this idea: if you are tired, if you had a day where you did a lot, there was a lot of energetic output, and you say something like, I'm drained, I'm drained, I'm drained, just saying those words over and over, it's almost like you're creating a drain in your energy system, and all of your life force is just going right out that drain. And so we want to be mindful of our thoughts around this time. As I mentioned, new moons are a time for setting new intentions. So holding ourselves, especially because, and I'm not going to get into the details of the astrological alignment. I know sometimes that goes over people's head, and I just want to stay focused here on the message, which is be very mindful of your thoughts and choose thoughts that are aligned with the life that you want to create, with the person that you want to be, with your values. Like, keep your words and your thoughts in alignment with what it is that you want to see, the world that you want to see. Not only is this new moon a time for, keeping our thoughts aligned, but we've got a lot of other energies, a lot of other planets that are in alignment that are supporting this right now. An example, Jupiter is in Gemini right now. He's going to be leaving Gemini soon. Jupiter is all about expansion and growth. But the other thing too is we have Mercury just moved into Gemini, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is at home in Gemini. So our mind is clear. Our perceptions are clear. Everything is ripe right now for using our thoughts and our words to create the experiences and the life and the relationships that we want. This is a beautiful time to really start to speak things into form. So remember, words are spells. So we want to be precise with our words. Another reason why I say be mindful of the thoughts that you think and the intentions that you set, because thought creates form on some level. The cells of our body are listening to our thoughts. So we want to keep them clear, aligned. Pull out a dictionary, find the right word that you want to use, feel a word. Like if you're creating an intention and an affirmation, for example, which we will talk about in a moment, when you're doing that, like, write it out, then look at the words, play with the different words so that you can find the precise word that you're looking for, because that's the energy that you want to bring into your experience. On that note, this is a lovely time to sit and just observe your thoughts, because it's one thing for me to sit here and say, like, oh yeah, just throw out whatever intention. But if your current thoughts and your current perceptions are not aligned, are like diametrically opposed to the affirmation that you want to create, there's going to be a discrepancy, and there's not going to be there's not entrainment. And if there's no entrainment, you're going to say your affirmation, I am blah, blah, blah. And then there's going to be this dissonance between what you actually believe and what you're saying, and then they'll cancel each other out. So my invitation to you is just observe your thoughts now and throughout this period, especially these 2 days while the moon is in Gemini, because the moon is going to interact with the sun, it's going to interact with Mercury, it's going to interact with Jupiter. So the moon is picking up all of these energies of the sun, our conscious awareness, of Mercury, the way that we communicate, the thoughts that we think, our perceptions, and Jupiter, this planet of expansion. So we want to just be mindful and watch all of our thoughts. There's there's this tendency to like to identify with our thoughts. There's a tendency for um, our mind to identify with our thoughts. They're not. We are not our thoughts. So I say observe them. Maybe come into a moment of stillness and just notice what you're saying or what's going on in there. And just remember, like, treat it like the clouds that you see in the background. This looks so fake, but that is a real background. I promise you. Like, I don't know how I can prove that to you, but anyways, if you're watching this, that's a real background. But just imagine that your thoughts are like clouds in the sky. This is so cliche, but it works. You just kind of sit back and watch them float by one. You can even do this while you're, like for example, right now, if you're walking, just notice as you're walking. I'm going to be quiet for a second and notice the thoughts that you're thinking. That's it. Just see them, hear them, and that's it. Move on. You noticed it. Then, after you take that, especially if you're going to do this in a moment of silence, sit with it, notice them, feel them in your body. When you see the thought in your mind or you hear the thought in your mind, notice what happens in your body. It's going to be uncomfortable, especially if this is not a regular practice for you. So if you're hearing this and you're like, oh, let me try that, and you sit down and you're assaulted by all of the thoughts in your mind, just know that that is common. It's going to take some time for you to be able to like sit there and just observe them. But you want to sit and observe, even if it's for a minute, random minutes, 30 seconds here and there throughout the day, throughout these 2 days. Just notice the thoughts that you're thinking. And then once you are aware of your thoughts, once you're aware of the words that you speak, once you're aware of the things that you say, then you can start to change them. And they're little small incremental changes to get to the place where you want to be. That's why we set our intentions here under the new moon, observe our thoughts, and then we see the distance between what we want to create, our intentions, and where we currently are. And then we start to make those shifts that get us from, let's say, I am to I'm not, or from I'm not to I am. And those little I'm working toward, I am ready for, and then suddenly I am. Yeah. It's easier for me to like give you a specific example. So if you have one and you're curious about it, just send me a DM, send me a message. Or let's connect. I've my schedule is open. I'm welcoming new clients into my Somatic Embodiment coaching. So if this is something that interests you, if you're ready to make a change in your life, to create some sort of shift, reach out to me. I'd love to support you on your journey. But our main focus, especially this week, is this new moon in Gemini, observing our thoughts and then setting intentions for the way that we want to be, the person that we want to become, the life that we want to live. But think of how you want to show up in this world. I'm not one for setting intentions to like get things. I'm more of like a being, so how to be, because then when you embody the energy that you want to bring into your life, then the things that come with that will come. Yeah, maybe you have a desire for something specific, and yes, you can set that intention, but you're more likely to get those things when you embody the being that would be able to have those things in life. I hope that makes sense. I don't know where that came from, but that was just something to share there. If this idea of like doing a new moon ritual or setting, oh, do you see that right there? I was like, what is going on there? Because I got the background blurry. It's just an airplane, but it looks like a little flying angel. Oh, and then it met up with something else. That's cool. Sorry, I get easily distracted. If you're new to like setting new intentions or doing any sort of new moon ritual type things, check out the show's notes and check out the links wherever you're listening to this or watching this. There is a link to a PDF, my new moon ritual PDF that I created for you to check out and experience. It's got some simple things to do to create a new moon ritual. And I mean, listen, anything can be a ritual as long as you set that intention for it to be. But if you need some guidance on what to do, download that. It's free. It's available for you. It's just on my website. But click the link where you get the show's notes. And because this new moon is ruled by Mercury, you want to speak or write, use words. These are our vibrations. So working with them is going to help us to set that intention. So observe your thoughts, sit down and write them out. Write out your affirmations. Do it first thing in the morning and do it just before you go to bed, because your brain is at a very susceptible at that time. So this is the time where we want to reprogram our mind. We want to put those affirmations into our brain so that it becomes our thoughts, right? And then our thoughts will create form on some level. The cells of our body will listen to our thoughts and they will say yes, and they will turn us into a magnet to draw in more of those things that create those experiences. Check out the show's notes to download that new moon ritual. And then just, again, observe your thoughts, spend some time in quiet, turn off the music, turn down the phone. Even if you just set a timer for 1 minute, just 1 minute, and observe, and then go on and do, like, don't make a big deal about it. You've heard me and Claudia Miko say this. Don't make a big deal about it. Just stop, sit, breathe, and notice. That's all you got to do. Also in the show's notes, information on if you are interested in my Somatic Embodiment coaching. So check that out. There's a link on there on my website. If you're interested, we can connect about that. And then also my Arise program, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. 3 of them are in real time. All days are recorded for morning practice. So 30 minutes a day, first thing in the morning, we get our thoughts aligned with the person that we want to be and how we want to spend our day. So we journal, we move our bodies, we do some breath work, we come into stillness. And it, like I said, it's 30 minutes a day to start your day with a full cup. So you can go out and show up in the world, your full self. So that program, Arise, welcome to join. There's a 1 month option you can try just for a month. Check that out. Or if you want to do the monthly subscription, for recurring, there's no commitment. So you can do it for 3 months. You can do it for 12 months. You can be like Jackie Talley and Leah, who have been doing the program since it launched in November of 2021. We are at just over 880 episodes. We're almost at 900 episodes of Arise. This is a daily program, because the things that we do every day, that's what makes us who we are. You know, it's our habits. It's the things that we do repeatedly that help us become. It's not that 6-week program. It's not that 21-day challenge. It's the things that you sit down and you chip away at every single day. So that's what Arise is. If that's something that you want to check out, DM me. I'll hook you up with an option to come check it out for a day or a session or a week. And then if that's something that you want to sign up for, that's available on my website. And then there is my eBook. Maybe Arise isn't for you, but you are interested in creating your own mindful wellness practice. My ebook, it's free. You can download that at on my website, paulgalloro.com. Just click the link right there, slap in your email address, and that ebook will be downloaded or will send to you in your email so you can download it. And then there is also my newsletter. So if you love these podcasts, if you love these videos, if you want some more information, check out sign up for my newsletter, because I share some other information in there as well. And that is it for today. I want to thank you all for being on this journey with me. I'm having such a good time. Thank you, everyone, for your feedback, for sharing your experience with me. Thank you for your inspiration. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that I talk about, please let me know. I'd be happy to talk about that on the show. And I'm excited because in some upcoming episodes, we have a few guests that I'm looking forward to introducing you to. So that is it for us today. Please join me in sealing our time together with a prayer. So if it's available to you, bring your palms together, leave a little space between your hands for love. Let that rest in front of your heart. Let's bow our head to our heart. Take a deep breath in. We step into our day with love guiding our way. The thoughts we think, the words we speak, and the things we do bring more love to this planet, and our eyes and hearts are open to see and receive the love that already surrounds us and the love that is already within us. For this blessing and all blessings we give thanks, and together we say, and so it is. I love you so much. See you again soon.